Public school teacher wellness is remarkably neglected, and the impact on the classroom is detrimental. A teacher is the container for the overall classroom climate. Teachers create the boundaries of psychological safety and academic performance. Within that container, they hold conflict, learning, despair, inspiration, frustration, individual expression, and group norms. They set the pace, create organization, determine routines, empower, console, confront, hold accountable, and regulate. When that container has worn thin, sprung a leak, or is simply weakened, the students have nothing to grasp onto or bump up against. We can no longer ignore the social-emotional needs of our public school educators. We must provide them with opportunities for self-care, group support, and psychological wellness. Katerina is a 15-year public school veteran educator. She entered the education field with a passion for teaching and a love of children. Her commitment to her work has been above and beyond. For the past 15 years, she wakes to a 5 a.m. alarm clock so that she can exercise, grab a quick breakfast, and be in the classroom by 7 a.m. with 45 minutes to go over her daily lessons and get the classroom ready for her students to dive into their daily adventure in learning. She stays late into the evening to accommodate parent meetings. She calls home when her students are absent and has even been known to visit the homes of students when her concerns go beyond the norm. In the past 5 years, much change has come to the school as the demographics of the city shift to higher needs and longtime administrators begin to either retire or move on. Katerina has worked under 3 new principals in 4 years. Her class size is 5 students beyond capacity, well outside the terms of her contract. And the basic needs of the students in her classroom has gone far beyond what she feels equipped to manage. She now has students who come to school hungry, whose parents work 2 to 3 jobs just to afford the city that she herself can barely keep up with, and whose emotional needs are so dysregulated that Katerina finds herself in a daily, reactive state as she tries to reduce interpersonal conflict between her students and create a safe classroom in which her students can learn. She feels isolated in her classroom, behind closed doors which attempt to contain the chaos that unfolds each day. She returns home in the evening exhausted and deflated, with little inspiration to plan for the next day. She drags herself out of bed in the morning with a lingering sense of dread for the day ahead. She questions her efficacy and doubts herself as a professional. She is certain that no one could appreciate what she goes through in a day. For the first time in over a decade, she's beginning to resent how little money she earns for the work that she does. What used to be a badge of honor and a place of pride in being a public school educator is now a burden that she feels she bears alone. She can feel her patience worn thin with an anxiety unfamiliar and hard to name, as if it is not quite her own. Katerina needs support. She needs to feel a sense of belonging and connection to her peers. She needs to be able to share her story in an empathetic environment where her struggle is validated. She needs to be granted the space to take care of her emotional needs, build her social strength, and restore her sense of self-efficacy. She needs to be able to take a step back and find generative solutions in the context of a professional community that has the knowledge, professional lens, and compassion to help her move forward. Katerina needs what so many public school educators need: a professional learning community in which her social, emotional needs are recognized, met, and fortified. Within the context of this professional learning community, she will strengthen her own social emotional wellness so that she can return to the classroom confident and able to hold the space of legitimate authority that the children need and deserve.